all history. You can check it out in the history books. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Holy smokes. Speaking of the history books, I was at the Sewage and Water Board plant on Claiborne, right by the parish line. I live right near that Riverbend, Carrollton, Holly Grove, Pigeon Town area, right by the Sewage and Water Board, not far from there at all. I would be on that levee right by the parish line, looking down, and I remember I was like, I need to call Ron Foreman. This is like seriously, just like a wildlife refuge. Hundreds, if I shouldn't say hundreds, thousands of birds in just a couple of those old ponds, Sewage and Water Board concrete ponds, Olympic swimming pool times 10, times 50, giant. And then just, neglected, abandoned for decades and overgrown with all kind of trees and bush and a lot of wildlife in there, a lot of wildlife. It was amazing. I mean, you'd go at like dusk and thousands of birds squeaking and squawking and chirping and making noise, just crazy. They have cleared out that area, are building a huge substation. It is well on its way. Now, the power plant, Energy, has a main facility on the West Bank. Power lines coming immediately from, 9 Mile Point, or I guess 9 Mile Point's farther down, maybe by the UEP. This one's across right from the parish line. Huge towers across the river. Power going right down literally the parish line, Monticello. Those huge towers, not wooden poles. Going to a substation on the property of the Sewage and Water Board. Had a chance to, talk about history, checking out turbine number 4, which reportedly comes from the Niagara Falls power plant. Or if not the Niagara Falls, a power plant from Niagara. And I'm assuming it was on that river or at the falls. It is a Thomas Edison era machine, reportedly built by Thomas Edison's company for the Niagara Power Company. It ran on 25 hertz, not the 60 hertz that we run on in the United States everywhere today. Old school technology from the 1920s, turn of the century, last century. New Orleans also running their pumps on 25 hertz. They bought this old turbine or used turbine, brought it down to New Orleans. That's turbine number 4. Reportedly from the Niagara Power Company, reportedly a Thomas Edison built turbine. Looks to be 80 or 100 years old. Then there's turbine 5, which looks to be 70 years old or so, 80 years old. General Electric on the outside of it. So it's like a time machine. You're going from like 100 and something years old or so to one that, 70, 75 years old, to a post-Katrina turbine number 6, which is a huge metal building. And you open up looks like a freezer door that's about half the size of a garage door. And there's a jet engine inside of it, a General Electric jet engine, a jet aircraft engine. That's the turbine that the Army Corps of Engineers built, turbine 6. Turbine 7 and 8 will be new from a San Diego-based turbine company. They will go near that or in that new power substation right at the parish line, basically Claiborne's at Monticello, under construction as we speak. When the Sewage and Water Board gets all their new stuff like this post-Katrina turbine 6, That's all new. They get stuff kind of in that era. Today and the future, they get this turbine 7 and 8 online with the substation. I'm telling you, some of these old sewage and water board buildings and some of the equipment inside that some's abandoned, like turbines, I don't know, 1, 2, and 3. I think 2 of them still exist. They're abandoned. They are offline, never to go back online. There's no getting them going again. I think 1 has been like dismantled, isn't even there anymore. One of the first 3. The building is like a brick you-know-what house, just so overbuilt, just incredibly overbuilt. 100 years old plus. No, this is the kind of stuff that you have like a museum. You could bring in some other stuff. I mean, they've already got stuff there that's not going anywhere that's like museum type stuff. I saw this cypress log, really straight, 20, 25 feet long. It's an old sewage pipe from 200 years ago. They literally hollowed out the middle. So it's like 3 inches still thick all around is the outside, and then just this perfect cylinder cut through the middle of it where water would flow through it, and they would just hook these cypress pipes together. Anyway, interesting. Sewage and water board, new substation coming along. What is it, $60 million? Boy, the cold front's on its way, New Orleans. Yeah, you're right. Temperatures already dropping. I went on a Monday to Fausto's on Vets, had a little lunch, sat outside. It was breezy and it was a little cool. Didn't have on this little vest thing, just had on the short sleeve shirt and was like, I can eat outside. And I had kind of a little bit outside. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to go inside, eat my red beans and rice at the bar inside because it was getting a little cold. Yeah, temperatures dropping as we speak, about 71 degrees right now in New Orleans with a nice breeze blowing. Like that threat of rain has been going on all day with no rain. Just really breezy out there. But that's instead of what we would think is rain, it's just this cold front coming in. 71 right now. It's going to be 62 degrees by around 8 p.m. It's going to be 58 degrees around 1 a.m. So dropping quickly. 71 right now. In about 5.5 hours, 10 degrees colder. And then by 1, 2 a.m., about 15 degrees colder. And when we wake up tomorrow morning, about 20 degrees colder than it is right now. 51, 52 degrees on the South Shore. That means low to mid 40s on the North Shore tomorrow morning. 52 tomorrow morning. The high tomorrow is 61. So essentially tomorrow, all day in the 50s. We wake up around 51 degrees. The high temperature is 61 degrees tomorrow. So kind of cold. And Wednesday, it gets cold. 45 is the low, 59 the high. Thursday, 48 the low, 66 the high. So, yeah, we got the cold front rolling in. Colder tomorrow, and then really cold Wednesday and Thursday. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. A lot coming your way. I wouldn't go anywhere if I were you. Yeah, mosquito killing weather. Gotta like that. And then we're right back to this again in a few days. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you all the way till 6 o'clock. Got a good one lined up for you. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, by the way. 766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. I had a few trivia questions from last week. I was supposed to give answers to them, and I am going to give them today if I didn't last week. Let's see. Where is that trivia question from last week? 2 of them. It was what? Tallest building in the city. That was One Shell Square, Hancock Whitney. The building with the most stories is not One Shell Square, Hancock Whitney. That has 51 floors, plus St. Charles has 53. It's a little shorter in height, but more floors, 2 more floors. And what was the other one? Oh, multi-level driving range, of course, City Park on Fillmore and Wisner, the city's first multi-level driving range. There's talk if the PGA Tour stop were to move to the City Park South Golf Course from the TPC in Avondale. First off, the City Park South Course would have more work done to it, like millions of dollars in work, more traps and trees and water moved into different places and the like. But really designed for a PGA event. That was part of the plan. That course, that was definitely in mind when the course was designed. The driving range on Fillmore, which is multi-level on Fillmore, 2 stories. You can see it. It's still kind of, it's not like it's state of the art, but it's like, yeah, can you build things that are better today than that? Yes, the thing's 40 years old, but it is by no means obsolete or needs to be torn down. And there's talk of the old John F. Kennedy High School site, which is on the opposite end of the driving range, the lakeside. That would be an all-grass driving range. And the price per bucket of balls might be a couple of bucks more, but really set up for with the pros in mind for a future tournament, a 2-sided driving range. But then we get to reap the benefits of that type of stuff the rest of the year, having that asset in the city. Anyway, there's talk of potentially moving out to City Park. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. No, so that was the first double-decker driving range, and still pretty good. Hey, Rouse's Markets phone lines are 766-9480. I do have a couple of more trivia questions. Got a few more $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates available. Hey, guys, just in time. Holiday season is right around the corner. Halloween's tomorrow. It'll be Thanksgiving in 3.5 weeks. It'll be Christmas a month after that. It's right around the corner. It's upon us. You can be in denial about it, try to hide from it, stress out about it, or you can do something about it. The right thing, take care of her. Get her what she wants. A day of relaxation from one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. It truly is the city's premier day spa. Woodhouse Day Spa on Canal Street at Carrollton in Mid-City, the flagship. They're in Metairie near North Kenner, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. They're in Slidell, about 60 seconds off the Gauze exit off I-10. They're in Mandeville, East Causeway Approach, right across the street from Mandeville City Hall. And they're in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. Find out more at woodhousespas.com. Take a virtual tour, print your own gift certificates online for her. I got 50 big bucks for the Woodhouse for her. Get you jump started right now. If you got a little answer to one of our trivia questions, and no intranet device, no search engines, Google, DuckDuckGo, none of that. You either know the answer or you don't. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate, 766-9480. LSU, Baton Rouge campus. Huey Long's like the father of LSU. That was like his baby. Loved LSU, pampered LSU, built LSU. Wanted it to be the biggest and the best in America, academically and athletically. Always what I'm preaching. Academics as good as athletics. Don't drag athletics down. Keep athletics at the world-class, state-of-the-art, arguably best in the United States of America. I mean, which college or university has better facilities, better teams, better athletes, better coaches, better fans, better environment? Seriously, that's better. That's better than LSU. I don't think you can say there's one that's better. There's, I think, several that are in the category probably. Winning championships, winning teams, sending players to professional, ranks out of their sport. Great facilities, great fans, passion. I don't know. It's tough to beat LSU athletically. Academically, easy to beat LSU. No, I always say, let's make them the same. As good at physics as football. As good at physics as football. Why not? Why the apprehension? Why are you going to take away from athletics? I don't want to take a thing away from athletics. But my God, there has to be a passion and drive to make academics great like athletics has this passion and drive. Because the L represents us. It's Louisiana State University. And it's not LSF. It's not Louisiana State football. It's not a pro team. It's LSU. It's education first. What's LSU up to? About 35,000 students, right? Something like that. Out of 35,000, 35,000 are students. And then there's 120 that play football. And of the 120 that play football, there's about 40 that really play football for LSU. About 40 that are major big-time contributors. So there are 35,000 students, and there's about 40 or 50 football players. So the priorities, are a little skewed sometimes, to say the least. Huey Long understood it. He wanted athletic facilities to be top-notch, but he understood academics were first. He even snaked around it. Wanted a stadium built. They said they wouldn't do it, or a stadium expanded. So he said, how about dorms? They're like, we'll fund dorms. So he got the dorms designed with, seats, bleachers, grandstands on the roof of the dorm. Now, you can look at Stadium Dorm at LSU and go, wow, under the stadium, they use that space for dorms. But in reality, it was Huey Long got the state legislature to build dorms, and he just got it designed so the roof of the dorm had the bleachers on top, and that was the expansion of the stadium. If LSU in Baton Rouge is like Huey Long's baby, he's the father of LSU. Who's the father of UNO? Who's the father of UNO? If Huey Long is the, LSU's my baby. He made Abe Michael a senator, the football player. Stopped the train going to the Vanderbilt game, got the railroad to stop the train in Macomb so LSU and everybody could get off, and they had a big parade in Macomb for Abe Michael, his hometown. If Huey Long was the father of LSU Baton Rouge, who was the father of UNO, LSUNO? Now just UNO, and no longer under the LSU system either, under the University of Louisiana system. Who was the father of UNO? You got an answer? I got 50 big bucks for you, good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. 766-9480. 766-9480. Hey, UNO came to be because the Navy base that was out by UNO left the lakefront and moved to Belle Chase. Why did the Navy leave the lakefront, which is now UNO, that site? Why did the U.S. Navy leave that site and move to Belle Chase? What made them move to Belle Chase? Give me the answer to that, and I got 50 big bucks for you, good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Got a cold front running through. You know what you're going to be doing? You will be running heat the next few days. On the North Shore, we're going to have temperatures in the morning, high 30s. South Shore, Wednesday, Thursday in the 40s. Lots of 50s. When it's 50, you're running heat inside your house all day. All day. You're going to be running your heat in the next 24 hours. You're going to be running your heat overnight tonight. It might be for the first time tonight, turning on your heat. If you have any heat problems, any concerns, not putting out the right amount of heat like last year, making a funny noise, funny smell, not working at all, River City's Total Maintenance is there. Air conditioning and heating experts, honest, and they come immediately. All you need to remember is NOLAAC.com. You need air conditioning help. If you need heat help, you'll be turning on the heat tonight. NOLAAC.com. They'll help you. NOLAAC.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe. For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Hey, every Friday, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. joins us, usually with a slew of topics, hopefully with some good economic news like jobs coming to the city. Every week, that segment's brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant, born, based, bred right here in New Orleans. Speaking of job creation, Latrim's creating jobs. There are dozens and dozens and dozens. I'm not kidding you. Might be 40, 50, 60 job openings or more on the Latrim website. They're hiring at their Elmwood facility. East Bankers, West Bankers. That's right under the UEP Long Bridge on Latrim Lane. They're hiring at their I-12 facility on the North Shore. North Shore, folks, no crossing the causeway to the South Shore. Just beeline down the I-12. Latrim's hiring. For a full listing of positions available, go to latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M. Latrim.com. Cold front rolling in as we speak. Temperature dropping. I bet you it's like 70 or 69 now. It was what, 71 just a few minutes ago? 70 degrees. In about 4 hours or so, it'll be 10 degrees colder. By tomorrow morning, 20 degrees colder than right now. It'll be 52, 51 and on the South Shore. Low to mid 40s on the North Shore tomorrow morning. Mid to low 40s on the North Shore tomorrow morning. Check this out. Wednesday, 45 when you wake up in the morning, Wednesday morning. North Shore, folks, close to freezing, mid 30s. Mid 30s on Wednesday morning. High temperature Wednesday in New Orleans, just 59. Tomorrow, the high temperature is 61. So essentially, for the next 48 hours, starting around midnight tonight, we'll pretty much be in the 50s for 48 hours straight. Overnight, it's getting to the high 40s. Middle of the day around right now, maybe like 59, 60 degrees. So lots of 50s for the next few days. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, fading into that like 60 when you wake up, 75 day. This weekend's going to be fantastic. And we need the rain. There's no doubt. This cold front coming in, I don't think anyone can complain, I guess, unless you work outside overnight. If we got rain tonight from like 11 at night to like 5 in the morning straight through. We really could use it all over the city, all over the state. Not just to push the saltwater wedge down the river. That's happening all by itself. No, just to water the lawns, the plants, agriculture, farming. We're in a drought. Doesn't look like any rain on the horizon, really. Marginal at best. Today, we had that threat of rain type weather, and I was outside talking to a couple of friends saying we could get rain. It wouldn't be shocking. I doubt it. It just seems like one of those threat of rain and no rain. Anyway, cold front rolling in as we speak. 20 degrees colder tomorrow morning than right now. Hey, like I said last week, you got to love this. For the last 15 years, season in, season out, overall, on average, the single best college football game of the year. The most highly anticipated college football game of the year. Week in, week out, season in, season out, the last 15 years overall on average. It's taking place this weekend in Tuscaloosa. Saturday night, 6:45 kickoff, CBS, nationwide television audience. I'd say in the last 15 years, I should say, this is like 6th, 7th, 8th time, maybe 9th. These obviously, clearly the most significant game of the football season. Most highly anticipated, most significant, national championship implications, has all of that this year. It's almost perfect. Number 13, LSU, they're 6-2. They essentially control their own destiny. If LSU wins out, They're SEC West champs most likely. They'll play in the SEC title game. They win out. They would beat Georgia most likely in that game. They win that. They're in the college football playoff. They win that first round game. They're in the championship and they win. They 15-0 and they're national champ. 15-0, excuse me. 13-2 and they're national champs. At 6-2, LSU controls their own destiny. Just win, baby. That's all you got to do. Al Davis, 13th ranked LSU, 6-2. At number 8, Alabama, the Crimson Tide is 7-1, and they're surging, getting better play from the quarterback. The O-line and D-line are doing their usual thing, and they've got good running back play. So they're kind of back to normal. Nick Saban seems to have a chip on his shoulder, focus, rumors, not big rumors swirling, but mentions, little chirp here, little chirp there, that could be his final season, which I don't think it will be. But I don't know if Nick Saban's the kind of guy that's going to announce it either. I think it'll happen after the season's done. Just call it a day. Kind of shock everyone. This interesting thing on this game, Alabama's favored by 3.5. Just 3.5. I would have thought on a neutral field, Alabama 7-1, LSU 6-2. Alabama starting to surge. So is LSU. I just figured Alabama on a neutral field would be somewhere around 3.5. I figured in Tuscaloosa, 5.5, 6, something like that. Maybe 5 in Tuscaloosa. Maybe on a neutral field, 2 points, something like that. You get 3 points for home field. Alabama's favored by 3.5. On a neutral field, they're saying Alabama by 0.5 point. Now, Tiger Stadium, unlike Bryant-Denny, I don't know of any other college stadium where you get 4 points from Vegas like Baton Rouge does. It's a 4-point home field. It's like the Superdome. You get 4 points at the Dome for the Saints, not 3. I think most bookies, any sports book, they would essentially tell you that. Those people doing the lines, there is a handful of college and pro stadiums where you get a little north of 3, 3.5, 4 points like Tiger Stadium or the Superdome. So if it's 3.5 in Tuscaloosa, that means on a neutral field, it is Alabama by 0.5 point. Like if it were a bowl game, the Alabama by 0.5 point, almost a pick 'em. And since it's 0.5 point at Tiger Stadium, it would be what? LSU by 3.5. So I think pretty interesting, the spread in this ball game. It'd be 3. It's 3.5 in Tuscaloosa. It would be 3.5 in Tiger Stadium with the extra point. Just pretty tight ball game, and where there's money on the line. That's what I love about Vegas. CBS already knows this is like one of the most highly anticipated games of the year. They got it penciled in prime time. The SEC deliberately gives LSU and Alabama that bye week before this big game every year. The single best college football game of the year, the most highly anticipated. LSU, Alabama, Saturday night from Tuscaloosa. I love Tulane just slipping under the radar, hanging around 20, 21, 22. I think they're still 22 in the latest poll, maybe 21. I'll double check it. 7-1. The Green Wave is 7-1. Tulane finishes 11-1, wins their conference championship game, 12-1. They're going to a major bowl again. Another New Year's Day major bowl. Pelicans are 2-0. At home tonight versus Golden State. Brett Martel, another Martel Monday. We're going to double dip with Brett. He was at LSU earlier today, so we'll find out about 13th ranked LSU as they gear up for number 8 Alabama Saturday night in Tuscaloosa. It doesn't get any better than that, unless the game was at Tiger Stadium. And Brett Martel heading to the Smoothie King Center, where the Pelicans are at home versus Golden State. And these new starting lineup rules, you can't just rest players. Remember Golden State came to the Smoothie King Center? It was like, I want to say either back-to-back or the Pels may have gone to like Houston and come right back and play Golden State, but it was Golden State at the Smoothie King Center 2 times within like a week or so, and neither game Steph Curry played. It's just wrong, you know? You're paying for the 41-game home schedule against all these NBA teams. You expect to see the Greek Freak. You expect to see LeBron James. You expect to see Steph Curry, Durant, whoever it is. You expect to see the best players. And when you play Golden State like twice in a week and no Steph Curry either time, that's not right. The NBA has made a change, so look for starters at least starting or playing significant minutes, not taking the night off. Ronnie Lamarck never seems to take any time off. After investing over $50 million in the Lamarck Automotive Complex, you know, Lamarck Ford, almost 50 years, number 1 Ford dealership, Lamarck Lincoln, number 1 Lincoln dealership in the state. After $50+ million in Kenner, he just scooped up Crescent City Ford in Elmwood. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex and now Lamarck Crescent
Dave
City
Miette
Ford.
Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Cold front's on its way. When we wake up tomorrow morning, about 20 degrees colder than it is right now. South Shore folks, yeah, get your sweaters and jackets out. It'll be low 50s tomorrow morning. North Shore folks, Trey Yen country, expect your temperatures to be in the mid 40s tomorrow morning. Wow, you got to love that. Cold front on its way. Temperatures already dropping. Wednesday's low is 45. The high is 59 on Wednesday. So check this out. Tomorrow, it's going to be about 51 when we wake up. The high temperature tomorrow is 61, just 61 tomorrow. So essentially for 90% of the day tomorrow, we're going to be in the 50s. And on Wednesday, it's all 40s and 50s, 45 to 59. So really starting around midnight tonight when we slip out of the 60s into the high 50s around midnight tonight, for about 2 days straight, temperatures in the 50s. Really won't see the 60s, and we're going to see some 40s, especially on the North Shore. Pretty cool stuff, pun intended. And then this weekend, wake up to around 60 degrees, and then the high temperature's like 75, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and sunny, sunny, sunny. Just great fall weather in and around New Orleans, the Gulf Coast. Gotta love it. Hey, I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Guys, holiday season's 6-8 weeks away till Christmas. Seriously. Halloween's tomorrow. That means in 3.5 weeks, it's Thanksgiving. And then 4 weeks after that's Christmas. Kaboom goes the dynamite. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations where she wants to go. If Huey Long was the father of LSU in Baton Rouge, who was the father of UNO out by the lakefront? And speaking of UNO, what caused the Navy to abandon that site that would become UNO and head to Belle Chase for their Naval Air Station? Why abandon UNO and head to Belle Chase? 2 questions. If Huey Long was the father of LSU, who was the father of UNO? And what caused the spot where UNO to become available? Why did the Naval Air Station abandon that site and go to Belle Chase? Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. You got answers? I got 50 big bucks. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Lots of ways to check out the program. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. 93.9 FM. Oh, so fine. 93.9. You can also check us out on New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. KaareTalks.com, our website. Kaare spelled K-A-A-R-E. KaareTalks.com, live streaming there. Or check out live streaming on YouTube. We're on YouTube right now. Every day live from 4 to 6, 2 big hours on YouTube. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And the first 90 minutes of the 2-hour talk radio extravaganza. Also on television, Cox Channel 4 TV, Spectrum Channel 333 television statewide. We go to 5:30 on television. Yeah, you right. Thanks for checking out the program each and every day. Sewage and Water Board, new substation coming along. I was at that facility today. I'll fill you in on what I saw during the 5 o'clock hour. I love this cold weather coming in. Boy, do we need that. Huh? Cold front, 20-degree drop in temperature over the next 12, 15 hours. And then lots of 50s over the next 2 days. And waking up to mid to high 40s over the Wednesday and Thursday at least, later in the week, waking up. Tomorrow we wake up, it's going to be 50, 51, 52, so close to high 40s. Wednesday, 45, Thursday, 48 when we wake up. Yeah, you right. Like I like to say, mosquito-killing weather. Hey, it's a little before 5 o'clock on a Monday. Great way to put that first day of the week behind you. Katie's in Mid-City. Monday Night Football tonight. Katie's in Mid-City. World Series Baseball. Yeah, you guessed it. Katie's in Mid-City. Multiple games on multiple flat screen TVs. It's like the best sports bar anywhere because it's not a sports bar. It's Katie's, the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. That means a great bar and great New Orleans specialty food, old school, big portions, great for sharing. A taste of New Orleans at Katie's. And then it's got the flat screen TVs for all your Tulane, LSU, Saints, Pelicans action, NFL, NBA, college football. All of that's on the flat screens at Katie's. But you get Katie's food. You get really good food. You get New Orleans food that you want to eat, not sports bar food that's not good at all. Katie's in Mid-City. Make it your game time stop with all those flat screen TVs. They got the games you want to watch on at Katie's, including tonight, Monday Night Football, Katie's in Mid-City. Hey, the 5 o'clock powwow coming your way next. A lot to cover. Brett Martel will join us. He's been with the Associated Press for over 25 years. I'll fill you in on what I saw out at the Sewage and Water Board, from Thomas Edison times to jet engine 2023 type technology. What's that, Blue Boy? The 5 o'clock powwow is next. Yeah, I told everybody that. Tell them to stick around. A lot going on. I told them that. Give away some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates in the 5 o'clock hour. Blue Boy, I got you covered, buddy. Got it all covered.
You're on the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 5 p.m.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations. Family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread. Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry, superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Here's New Orleans native son, Corey Johnson.
New Orleans City Councilman Freddie King joins us.
So I want to first say thanks for having me. And believe it or not, man, I used to listen to your show all the time driving home. So it's an honor to be on.
Freddie, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's an honor to have you on the program. Thanks.
The official afternoon talk show of the city of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
In the last episode of Soap, Leslie was undecided about killing herself, so she decided to kill Billy instead.
Nice.
Dutch has finally decided to decide between Eunice and Corinne. When Bert and Danny
Soap,
decided to stand
the
up to
prime
Tibbs,
time
Tibbs
show
decided to have
making
them knocked
fun
out.
of soap
The judge
operas.
said she would decide
It's kind of a
whether
popular
Jody or
show,
Carol
although
deceased
I was a
custody of
child
Wendy.
and did
Now
not
that
watch
Mary
it.
Baby has decided
Probably
to
too
appear,
mature
will it also
jokes
be
for a
able to
child to
disappear,
enjoy.
or will it be as normal as everyone else in the family? And what have the
How about
fates
Drew
decided
Brees
for
from La
Jessica?
Jolla, California,
Confused?
please?
You won't be after this episode of Soap.
There he is, number 9, 2-minute drill, bailing us out last minute. No soap reruns. You can check that out somewhere. This is the Neutral Ground with me, Corey Johnson. 5 o'clock power hour on a Monday. Yeah, you right. You're in the right spot. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. CoreyTalks.com, our website. We're on YouTube till 6, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything. We're on TV till 5:30 statewide. If you subscribe to Cox Television, Cox Channel 4, Yorview, Louisiana, Cox Channel 4, weekdays starting at 4 till 5:30. You chartered television subscribers, a.k.a. Spectrum, we're on Spectrum Channel 333, 4 to 5:30 weekdays statewide. Yeah, you right. 5 o'clock power hour on this Monday, brought to you by Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. You have a friend in the jewelry business, and that's nice to have. I don't know all that much about jewelry. I want someone I can trust. I want someone to answer questions honestly. Honestly, when I ask questions, I want, what does this rating mean? What's this compared to that? Price versus that, all that kind of stuff. You get that with Ken Friend at Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. You can go see Ken or one of his friendly staff over there. They're very knowledgeable, very helpful. You can get an appointment set with Ken one-on-one. You can get an appointment set with Ken Friend one-on-one outside of business hours. Like you're trying to get that perfect engagement ring, because New Orleanians that know Friend and Company when it comes to fine engagement rings, diamond engagement rings, real diamonds, natural diamonds. That's what Friend and Company Fine Jewelers is all about. Diamond stud earrings, diamond tennis bracelets, diamond necklaces, and yes, diamond engagement rings, all with real natural diamonds. Not 3-week-old man-made diamonds, lab-created diamonds. Are you kidding me? Don't get fooled. Don't let the store that sells that stuff talk you into buying that stuff. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to your loved one, the most significant person in your life. She wants real natural diamonds. It's a lifetime purchase. Don't have regrets a year, a decade, 20 years from now, always knowing, yeah, I got her the 3-week-old lab-created man-made stuff from China instead of the rare, authentic, real natural diamonds a billion years old. Go to Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. All price ranges, they've got you covered. I mean it. They've got real natural diamonds, diamond stud earrings, tennis bracelets, necklaces, engagement rings, starting for thousands of dollars. Some starting at tens of thousands of dollars. They have items north of $100,000 at Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street. And Ken Friend also has an entire room with diamond stud earrings, tennis bracelets, diamond necklaces, engagement rings, all with real natural diamonds. Everything in that room under $1,000. Something for everyone. Main gift, last minute gift, the B gift, the primary gift. Real natural diamonds, a billion years old. This holiday season, guys, go see Ken Friend at Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street. You have a friend in the jewelry business, someone you can trust. Ken Friend, Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street. They're in between Broadway and Carrollton in that Maple Street, Riverbend, kind of Carrollton neighborhood area. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, guys. Holiday season's right around the corner. Halloween's tomorrow. That means in about 3.5 weeks, Thanksgiving. About 4 weeks after that, Christmas. It's right there. And it's boom, boom, boom. It's going to be Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, Mardi Gras, French Quarter Fest, Jazz Fest before you know it. Time goes by quick. Hey, the cold front is on its way. Temperature's already dropping, about 70 degrees right now. It'll be 20 degrees colder when we wake up tomorrow morning. In about 14 hours, 20 degrees colder. 50 degrees, 51, 52 degrees on the South Shore at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. And that means on the North Shore, even colder, low to mid-40s. Tomorrow morning on the North Shore. The high temperature tomorrow on the South Shore is only 61. That means you North Shore folks won't get out of the 50s tomorrow. Wednesday, the low is 45. Thursday, the low is 48. That's on the South Shore. Even lower, 30s on the North Shore. Definitely Wednesday, if it's 45 on the South Shore, you pretty much can figure you're going to get what? High 30s, 40 degrees or so. When you wake up Wednesday morning on the North Shore, a nice cold front, not a cool front, not a little drop in humidity or temperature, a legitimate cold front where mosquitoes are killed. Yes, coming through. And then this weekend, my goodness, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, wake up to about 60 degrees and we might hit 75. And sunny, sunny, sunny. Really fantastic weather. And the cold front, you can feel it. It's colder every hour. Literally, the temperature's dropping a few degrees every hour all the way till tomorrow morning. Hey, I got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates for you. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse. Some trivia, couple of questions, no intranet, no search engines, no Yahoo or DuckDuckGo or Bing or Google. You either know the answer or you don't. If Huey Long was the father of LSU in Baton Rouge, who was the father of UNO? LSU was Huey Long's baby. He loved the school. He loved academics as much as athletics. He wanted both to be excellent. And LSU had pretty darn good academics in the 30s and 40s and 50s. If Huey Long was the father of LSU in Baton Rouge, who was the father of UNO out by the lakefront? Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate. 766-9480. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you. Hey, who was the father of UNO? And speaking of UNO came to be because the Naval Air Station moved from the UNO site to Belle Chase. Why did the Navy abandon what would become the UNO site for Belle Chase? Why did the Navy abandon their lakefront naval base and go to the best bank, brah, to Belle Chase? Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. 766-9480. Perfect timing. I mentioned Friend and Company Fine Jewelers in the holiday season. Guys, a Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate's a must. 766-9480. I went to the Sewage and Water Board today to check out their new substation, see how that's coming along. $60 million project. Basically a substation with direct lines about 2 miles from the main West Bank power plant. Those lines cross the river right at the parish line and then beeline down the parish line, those major power poles down Monticello, leading down to this new substation that will power the Sewage and Water Board. They'll bring in 2 brand new turbines as backup. That'll be turbines 7 and 8. 1, 2, and 3 are offline. I think 1, 2, and 3, one of those first 3 doesn't even exist anymore. 2 and 3, I think the turbines are physically there. They're inoperative, never to work again, abandoned. But turbines 4, 5, and 6, I checked out all 3 of those. It's like going through a time warp. It's crazy. Like turbine 4 came from Niagara Power, like a used turbine, because it produced the 25 hertz, not the standard 60 hertz. Like, I guess the Sewage and Water Board 80 years ago or something, 100 years ago, we got to get a turbine that produces 25 hertz. Hey, I think Niagara Power's got one we could buy. Reportedly, Thomas Edison's company built that turbine number 4.
That's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. when you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. If you go to my Twitter, Corey Talks, at Corey Johnson on Twitter, at Corey Johnson on Twitter, I posted a few videos from the Sewage and Water Board plant. Yeah, Turbine 4 is from Niagara Power, reportedly. It is a 25 hertz turbine, and it looks to be about 100 years old. And reportedly, the Thomas Edison Company built that turbine in New York. That's Turbine 4. It's steam-powered, still working at the Sewage and Water Board plant. Right across the way from that one, about 20 yards away, is Turbine 5. To me, that looks like around a 1940, like World War II era turbine, something like that, I'm guessing. And then going into Turbine 6 in its own brand new building that the Army Corps of Engineers built. They did all of it post-Katrina, like 15 years ago. The turbine is a General Electric turbine that is literally a jet engine. A jet engine mounted, and that the same engine that is on a jet plane is the turbine producing power for the Sewage and Water Board. And that's Turbine 6. I mean, from Thomas Edison, 100 years old, to maybe somewhere in between today and then, like World War II era, to post-Katrina with a General Electric jet engine basically converted to a turbine. It's amazing. It's crazy. The Sewage and Water Board, I mean, is like a living, working museum. Hey, Brett Martel is going to join us in about 15 minutes. Like I said last week, for like the last 15 years, the last 15 college football seasons, season in, season out, kind of overall, on average, the single best college football game of the year, the single most highly anticipated college football game of the year in, year out on average, is LSU and Alabama. There's no bigger game anywhere. There's no way you can name another game in college football over the last 15 seasons on average, year in, year out, that is more anticipated, a bigger game than LSU and Alabama. There is none. Not over the last 15 years. I mean, national championship implications. In the last 15 years, maybe 8 or 9 of these games, the winner might go on to be like national champs, or at least playing for it, making the playoff, having a chance for it. Like 9 times maybe out of the last 15 years, maybe more. No different this year. Each team controls its own destiny. Either LSU or Alabama wins out, they're national champions. And you go, Corey, LSU's 6-2. LSU beats Alabama, ends up winning the SEC West, upsets Georgia. I know these are long shots. Alabama would be an upset. Alabama's favored by 3.5 points. If LSU beats Alabama, goes undefeated the rest of the season, plays in the SEC title game, upsets Georgia, makes the playoff, wins the first round, and then wins the national title game. They're making the playoff. They win the SEC. They're in the playoff. They knock off Georgia. The biggest dilemma the playoff people have, do you include Georgia in the playoff? If Georgia is undefeated and loses on a field goal to LSU in the SEC title game, I don't see how you don't include Georgia in the playoff. And, of course, you have to include LSU. It'd be 2 SEC teams of the 4. And then you'd probably have a team with 1 or even no losses. Maybe an undefeated team not getting in the playoff. And a 2-loss SEC champion LSU getting in the playoff. And even a one-loss Georgia maybe slipping in the playoff. Who knows? It's all a long way away. You got to take them one at a time, literally. It's not just a cliche. I mean, Alabama's got revenge on their mind. LSU won last year. Brian Kelly's first year as coach turned around a team that the old coach almost crashed and burned, almost like a blueprint on how do you go from national champ, greatest quarterback, Joe Burrow, maybe greatest team ever in college football, to in a year or two to a 500 football club, to a team that has 38 scholarship players that is going downhill. My God, if you would have kept the old coach on for year 3, that team might have gone like 3-9. Instead, you bring in Brian Kelly. He goes out and recruits a really good recruiting class right away. Bigger than that was he used the transfer portal like a champ, and LSU gets to double-digit wins and goes bowling, wins the SEC West, plays in the SEC title game in Brian Kelly's first year, and upsets Alabama? Are you kidding me? In overtime on a 2-point conversion to win. Just awesome first-year results, especially where the program was in the toilet, going steadily downhill for 2 straight years, no end in sight. I mean, under normal situation, I would say Brian Kelly, first year, you get to 7-5. That's incredible. Then the next year, you're trying to like duplicate that because you got to rebuild so much. Maybe 8 wins. By year 3, wow, you're on the cusp. And maybe by year 4, you finally rebuilt the program to where it was. Instead, he does it right away. And a few speed bumps earlier in the year, but they seem to have righted the ship. The defense is playing better. The offense is as prolific as any offense in college football. But they're running into a buzzsaw. Nick Saban's got a chip on his shoulder. They had to overcome some early season adversity. They seem to have righted the ship. It's going to be a war. That's why, like I said, for the last 15 years, year in, year out, on average, generally speaking, this is the premier college football game of the year, the single best game, the most highly anticipated game. And this Saturday night at 6:45 on CBS from Tuscaloosa, I don't think you're going to see a disappointment. Number 13, 6-2 LSU. Number 8, 7-1 Alabama. Like I said, each team controls its own destiny. Win out, you're national champs. Brett Martel will join us in a few minutes to discuss that on Martel Monday. Plus, the Pels are at home tonight. Tip off in about 90 minutes or so. A little over an hour and a half away. At home versus Golden State. And you should see Steph Curry and all that. Not like last year where all these stars sit. The NBA changed the rules. Stars got to play. We'll talk to Brett about that. 7-1 Tulane rolling around. Roll wave. And the Saints picking up a much-needed win on the road at Indianapolis. Getting to 500, which means in the NFC South, you're in the middle of the hunt. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Helm Paint and Decorating's been with you for over 50 years. Hey, New Orleans, when you got to paint, you go to Helm. You do it once, you do it right. Lifetime Benjamin Moore paint. Never, ever paint again. And pennies on the dollar compared to these so-called coating companies that have been advertising like crazy the last decade or so. You know what those so-called coating companies really are? The world's most expensive home painting company. A ripoff using an unnecessary paint, elastomeric paint. 99% of the time, you'd never need that on your home. Don't trust me. Don't trust Helm. Talk to any professional painter painting a house. They'll tell you, no, you don't use that coating. Like emphatically tell you no. Just go get some Benjamin Moore lifetime paint from Helm Paint and Decorating. 7 locations in Metro New Orleans. Hey, Baton Rouge, 4 Helm Paint and Decorating locations in Baton Rouge. That's right, Tiger Town. When you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, do it once, do it right. You go to Helm Paint and Decorating. And yeah, when you got to paint in New Orleans, over 50 years. 7 locations in New Orleans, 4 locations in Baton Rouge, free 2-hour delivery anywhere in Metro Baton Rouge, anywhere in Metro New Orleans. Helm Paint and Decorating. Yeah, you right. The temperature's dropping as we speak. Oh, so nice. Gotta love it. It'll be 20 degrees colder when we wake up tomorrow morning than right now. 20 degrees colder when we wake up tomorrow morning compared to right now. Wednesday, 45's the low. Thursday, 48 is the low. It's mosquito killing weather. Yeah, you right. I went to the Sewage and Water Board today. Good news. The substation coming along, $60 million. That'll let the Sewage and Water Board not have to rely on these turbines. They'll just be running power from Entergy. And then if they have a problem, they can go to these turbines, which I checked out Turbine 4 today. It's like a Thomas Edison turbine from Niagara Power in New York. It's like 100 years old. I checked out Turbine 5. Looks like something from World War II. They both still work. Both still producing power. And Turbine 6, night and day from the other two. Built by the Army Corps of Engineers after Katrina. It literally, the turbine from General Electric inside of this little building is a jet engine. A General Electric jet engine turbine. It's amazing. Sewage and Water Board, slowly but surely modernizing. I'll keep you up to date on that. And that's one of the few good things that I can say about Mayor LaToya Cantrell. Like her staff, like Montano is not from New Orleans. I respect that. Even though that guy is like scared to reply back to me or come on the program because he'll get asked real questions. And he's like, what do I gain going on Corey's show? Nothing. I run from it. So even though I think Montano is a little weak in that regard, I like the selection, an outsider, not just the Cedric Grant. I'm at the Sewage and Water Board today. Cedric Grant used to run the Sewage and Water Board. He wouldn't know the difference between a turbine, a pump. Are you kidding me? It's a joke. It's a joke. No, these appointed, anointed, hack type people. Cedric Grant type people. No, I respect the mayor for getting Ghassan Corbin from Milwaukee Water Works, their public, facility, their entity. He was there like 25 years. It's what he does. He's not a Cedric Grant, an appointed, anointed nobody that doesn't know anything about the Sewage and Water Board. So I don't like Mayor LaToya Cantrell as a mayor. I don't think she's doing a good job. I think she lacks leadership. I think she lots of problems. Has an ego, narcissistic, junket, probably criminal activity. She can't help herself. But I respect the Montano getting that guy outside the loop, and Ghassan Corbin, who runs the Sewage and Water Board. It's not like he's coming in to get the team winning again. It's he's coming in and he's rebuilding the whole stadium, the team, all of it from the ground up. So no, I'm not a fan of the mayor, but I respect those decisions. Could have easily been lame decision-making on the mayor's part. Easily. Could have just been some terrible choices. And there have been a lot. But those few I don't think are at all. I know Ghassan Corbin is not at all. That guy's got a legitimate resume. Hey, Leidenheimer French bread, part of New Orleans for over 125 years, 5 generations, family-owned and operated, and still baking that Leidenheimer French bread right here in the city of New Orleans. Never wavered on that. Not doing it out of Orleans Parish. And it's the water, it's everything. Age-old recipe. That French bread you love, Leidenheimer, served in the city's finest restaurants. That po' boy you love. I literally got some French bread the other day, heated it in the oven, got that whipped butter, and ate like half the loaf. Almost ruined my meal. It's so good. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer Baking Company. part of New Orleans since 1896. Wow. The weather's dropping. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Hey, we're going to knock out a quick break. When we return, Brett Martel joins us from the Associated Press. Another Martel Monday. Hey, they're closed tomorrow, but they're open till 9:30 tonight, Wednesday through Monday night. I'm talking about Lebanon's Cafe. They're open till 9:30. Dine outside while the weather's dropping. Perfect time right now to eat outside at Lebanon's. Under the green awning, under the oak trees on the streetcar line. All your Middle Eastern favorites, plus lamb chops, shish kebab. Open till 9:30 tonight, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
You're listening to The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Cotton Bowl winning coach Willie Fritz joining us on the program. Have you ever been part of a game that great?
A lot of things happen in the game. You just don't know the script. You got to adapt and improvise. You just got to keep playing hard the whole time, and our guys did an excellent job of that.
How big is yesterday for the overall future of the program?
You got to have a guy that really have a burning desire to get a quality education and also be a great football player. You got to have both.
You've always have embraced New Orleans. You've been a great ambassador for the city, for Tulane University.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. My wife and I just love it here in New Orleans. And just everybody, the city's just sensational. It's a dime for every person who came up to me after the game. I had tickets in Tulane Stadium. And, I've heard that a ton of times. And letting you know, that's good that we're able to make some people happy.
That's Willie Fritz joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Roll late.
The spirit of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on The Neutral Ground.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Thanks for joining us on the program. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. You can email us, Corey at CoreyTalks.com. Mike had a good answer. If Huey Long was the father of LSU, who was the father of UNO? I love this answer. Ted Hickey, Senator Ted Hickey. The Seabrook Bridge is the Ted Hickey Bridge. Good answer, but incorrect, Mike. Yeah, he emailed us, Corey at CoreyTalks.com. Corey spelled K-A-A-R-E. Corey at CoreyTalks.com. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480, if you have an answer to that. If Huey Long was the father of LSU, who was the father of UNO? And why did the Naval Air Station, why did they abandon the UNO site and move to the West Bank? You got an answer, I should say, to either question. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. He's double dipping. Brett Martel, 25 plus years with the AP, knocking out LSU coverage today from Baton Rouge. Big game of the week. LSU, Alabama, big game of the year. And as we speak, he's at the Smoothie King Center getting ready for the Pels in Golden State. They got you running all over the state of Louisiana, Brett.
Yeah, it's that time of year. A lot of overlap.
Yep, yeah, exactly. Love it. College football, NFL, NBA now. It's nice being a major 2 sports major league city, huh, Brett?
Well, it can be, although I'd like it to be spread out a little more.
Oh, poor Brett. He's crying over there.
It's just a lot to juggle.
Well, Brett,
multitasker.
we have Fletcher Macalon on Fridays. He does the crying, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. We're going to man up with Brett Martel. Hey, Brett, what was going down in Baton Rouge? What did Brian Kelly have to say? I was saying for the last 15 years, season in, season out, overall, on average, however you want to look at it, this is college football's best game, the most highly anticipated game, the most on the line. Either team wins out, they're national champs. 6-2 LSU, 13th ranked. Alabama 7-1, 8th ranked. It's on CBS. Tuscaloosa doesn't get much better than this, Brett.
Yeah, it always seems to be a huge game, once again they're meeting where they don't really have any margin for error because they both kind of stumbled early in the season against other big time teams. Obviously,
yep.
Alabama lost to Texas, but they didn't lose in conference, so they have the inside track. LSU lost to Florida State and then also lost to Ole Miss, although that was a really, 104 total points in that game and a really close and exciting game. So,
yep.
LSU has a chance to still, win out and win the conference, go to the SEC championship game. And then if you even if you have 2 losses, if you win the
Upset
SEC,
Georgia, you're in the playoff.
Right. I mean, you got to at least as a number 4 seed. So
that would be the biggest nightmare for the playoff folks. A 1-loss Georgia, like LSU winning on a last-second field goal,
Yeah,
and Georgia being like 13-1, it'd be like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever, 12-1. Yeah, they'd be a dilemma they wouldn't like. What did Brian Kelly say about Alabama?
Well, he thinks that Alabama's actually done quite a good job with Jalen Milroe and getting him to improve throughout the season. He's very impressed with his ability to hit open receivers downfield. Even though he's obviously been consistent, they still have just the 1 loss, and he thinks that defensively Alabama is as good of a team as they're going to play all year. And I'm sure he came to that conclusion from watching the Ole Miss tape where, Alabama suffocated Ole Miss in the second half. And, that's the same team that scored 50-something points on, against LSU.
They're getting a little bit more stability at the quarterback position. Good player, bad play. That quarterback now he's taking control. He's the starter. He's taking responsibility. You got a running game they can rely on, Brett. You got an offensive and defensive line that they can rely on. So, I mean, Alabama, I think, can win a lot of ball games with just that. There's a confidence now. Earlier in the season, there was like a question mark. I mean, there was articles I'm reading, Brett, in September. The end of Saban. This is the beginning of the end of the era. Blah, blah, blah. And now they're right back on track again, it appears.
It does appear that way. I mean, you still hear people saying if they really do get into the playoff or win a national title, it'll be his best coaching job. I think that's debatable, but it is always harder when you have kind of an unknown at quarterback who has a learning curve to start the season.
Yeah, LSU has the opposite, Brett, and one of the most prolific offenses in college football. That's why this is 3.5 at Tuscaloosa. 3.5 points, not 5, not 6, just 3.5. Because LSU's offense with a seasoned quarterback is the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, LSU, they have a Heisman candidate behind center who really blossomed in the middle of last year, was one of the big stars of that upset victory over Alabama that propelled LSU into the SEC title game. And so, he won't, this game won't be too big for him at all. This year he's done even better, I think, making those anticipatory window throws, the timing throws, accurate down the field. And he's still, like we've talked about on the show before, I mean, when it comes to scrambling and improvisational stuff, he's one of the most exciting quarterbacks since Michael Vick in that regard.
What are you expecting Saturday night in Tuscaloosa, Brett?
Well, LSU is really banged up in the secondary, especially. And Brian Kelly said today, he put a good face on it. And he said, these guys are not experienced, but they were recruited to LSU because they're really good.
Yep.
So if they've been paying attention and they can play confidently and instinctively, because they have had, the bulk of this season to learn at this level, even though they haven't necessarily had the snaps on the field, maybe they'll come through. I mean, the way I see it is if LSU's defense has an unusually good game and Jalen Milroe has one of, his really erratic games, then LSU's got a pretty good chance to outscore them and win. But, if Milroe has a good game and the LSU defense is in disarray, it's just going to be like Ole Miss all over again. And it's going to be hard for LSU to keep up.
Did LSU lose one of their linemen today on the D side?
Yeah, defensive tackle Makai Wingo.
Yeah, that's not good.
One of their best guys. But,
Yep.
he was the guy that carried them last year when Mason Smith was out. And now Mason Smith is going to have to step up and be the guy that carries them. They've got some other veterans that can rotate into that.
Perkins has to have a monster game. They just got to let him loose. Perkins has a monster game. That could be key for LSU.
Yeah, he can be a game wrecker if he's used in the area where he's most comfortable. Obviously, early in the season, they were experimenting more with him in the middle. And they realized that...
what a waste of time that is.
Yeah, well, I remember I actually accepted Brian Kelly's explanation for that, which is that part of their job if they want to have credibility as recruiters of big time talent, part of their job is to prepare these guys to play in the NFL. And there's a feeling that, NFL teams want to see how this guy plays in the middle. But it wasn't really a strength early in the season, and they've decided to put him back where he's most comfortable and helping the defense the most and helping them win. And he's been a game wrecker again.
Yeah, interception, sacking the QB. You want him all over the field.
Right. And so, Kelly said that that their intention, like I said, their intentions are to get him ready for the NFL, but that they're going to have to be able to adjust on the fly too if something they try isn't working out great. And so that's what they've done with him, and he's been more effective lately.
Can't wait till this game, as good as it gets. Hey, Tulane's quietly 7-1, Brett. They're just rolling along, taking care of business. That Willie Fritz is a good coach. Tulane is a good football team. They're fun to watch.
Well, I'll say you're right, but they are living a little dangerously.
I see all the stuff on Twitter. I know where you're about to go. They're up, 28-10 or something, and then the other team rattles off a couple of touchdowns, and then Tulane has to get a late score. I hear all that, but I think that's not as big of a deal. But go on. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, no, it's okay. I mean, the thing is that they are favored to win big over the last two teams they played, and they took big leads against the last two teams they've played, and then they let them both back into the game. And in one case, North Texas came back to tie it, and they needed a late score to win. And in this case, they never allowed Rice to tie it, but it got uncomfortably close. I mean, 2-point game, because you could lose on a field goal. And so LSU takes the ball with 8 minutes left. I mean, LSU, sorry,
Tulane. Yeah.
But this is, Tulane. But what they did well, and what proved how much better of a team they were, is that when they got the ball with 8 minutes left, they ran almost all of the time off the clock. And they could have probably scored another touchdown and won by 9 or 10 points.
Yep.
But they're probably 9 in this case. But Willie Fritz is he's so by the book, he's trying to calculate in his mind. He thought, well, if we make the touchdown, but then miss the extra point somehow.
The timeout was kind of a mistake, though. The one where I guess they were calling it because Pratt's hand was bleeding maybe or something. And they thought Pratt might have been hurt because he was grabbing his hand for a second. I don't know why they called that timeout, but the point is, Tulane should have never relinquished the ball. They should have just kneeled out the game.
Yeah, well, they were trying to kneel out the game, but for whatever reason, and actually I haven't figured it out yet, and Willie Fritz hadn't either. He said something weird was going on with the clock because we should have been able to run out the clock, but they weren't able to run it out. So what they had to do was that weird 4th down play where they just threw the ball up in the air.
Yeah, no, the ball, and then I wonder what the deal was, because I don't know why they called the timeout. I'd like to hear his explanation on the timeout. And I remember, I think not only once, but twice they added time back to the clock, but I'd like to hear if there was a problem with
that. I don't think they thought that timeout was going to prevent them from running out.
No, I guess
the time in the game.
I guess not.
No, I think it was the other stuff that they miscalculated the amount of time that the play clock would set at.
It was up for the Wave next, like one win. I forgot who they're playing.
East Carolina.
Yeah, just
East
one
Carolina.
win, right?
It's a team, that struggled this year. It's 1 or 2 wins, and they, again, they're going to be favored on the road, just like they were this past week.
They're favored by 16.5 points at 1-7 East Carolina. No, that's upset special. You can't go in going, it's a 1-7 team and we're favored by 16.5. Maybe what you're saying, Brett, Willie Fritz will bring that up. Hey guys, we dominate these teams we're supposed to dominate, and then we let them back in. Let's not do that at East Carolina. Let's play a complete game. That kind of gimmick.
Right. But here's where it'll cost them. I mean, they're still doing great, obviously. I mean, this is definitely a golden age for Tulane football, right?
Yep.
But Air Force is ranked ahead of them as a non-major conference.
Air
team,
Force is 8-0.
Yeah, and so right now it's Air Force and not Tulane that gets the New Year's Day 6 bowl invite as a as the highest ranked non-major conference team. So if Tulane wants to get back there, they need to start winning more impressively against these teams they're supposed to beat.
No, and then if you win the conference championship too, they probably past Air Force.
Yeah, and Air Force could always stumble. I mean, there's no guarantee they're going to run the table either. But right now, they are behind, Air Force in the rankings. So they need to win a little more impressively for the time being.
Speaking of impressive, Saints picking up a nice win, getting to 500, and in the NFC South, it's wide open. Nice victory against the Colts in Indianapolis.
It was important, I think, for them. They would have been in real trouble if they had lost to another struggling team and fallen to 3-5. And even though they mathematically would have still been in the hunt, but in this really anemic division they're in, it just would have been a bad look to lose 5 out of 6 games, including against some other teams that aren't really that strong. So yeah, they looked a lot better, and they probably should have won even more easily than they did. They had some major gaffes that Dennis Allen wasn't happy about. But I think on the big picture, he needs to be happy about the fact that the defense had 2 sacks and an interception, held the opposing quarterback to barely over 200 yards. They got gashed in the run game a couple of times, but overall their run defense was fairly good. And then the highest quarterback rating at 133.3 by Derek Carr all season by far, his best game by far in terms of 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He did have a sack fumble, which was unfortunate, but they overcame it, and they overcame it relatively comfortably because they were able to throw the ball and run the ball. And they had that deja vu play from week 1, right? When they were trying to secure the victory, and then they go deep down the sideline on 3rd down, left sideline to Rashid Shaheed in single coverage, and they executed again. So exciting and to a important victory for them.
Hey, Brett, you got Monday Night Football tonight. You got Pels. Pels are 2-0. You're at the Smoothie King Center taking on Golden State. Hey, what's the new NBA rules? It won't be like last year. Pels played Golden State like twice in a week and no Steph Curry either time at the Smoothie King Center. New rules. You'll see starters at least for a little while, right?
Yeah, we should be seeing Steph Curry tonight. Still waiting for an official announcement on that because they weren't ready to do their injury report when the coach talked on the bottom of the hour just now. So Kerr didn't say yet, but starting lineup should be coming out soon. I would expect to see some Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. Not sure about Draymond Green though, because he's been a little, he's had a little more injury trouble lately, and so they could more easily justify keeping him out.
CP3 coming off the bench, the old New Orleans NBA player.
That's right. So yeah, he'll be back, and he's looked fairly effective with them so far, especially in terms of getting assists. But it's he was already a good assist guy. Now he has some of the best shooters in the history of the game to pass to. So expect those numbers to go up.
Hey, on a side note, it's a troika tonight. You can check out Monday Night Football. You can check out Pels. You can check out baseball. All 3: the NBA, NFL, MLB. Rangers and D-backs all knotted up at 1 each. So it's a best of 5 for the World Series now, Brett.
Yep. Yeah, I know there's a lot of interest in that with the Rangers. I'm sure, Dallas not being that far away. Still trying to win the World Series there. So, but this is a big early season game here at the arena for the Pelicans, against one of the best teams in the league. And considering how much hope the Pelicans have after the way they've started through the first 2 games with Zion healthy again and, averaging 23.5 points through the first 2 games and Ingram looking good in the last game. And so, interesting game tonight here.
For whatever it's worth, the Pels are favored by 4, Brett. So the Vegas boys seem to like them. We'll see. We'll see. NBA, hardest league of all, winning on the road. Hey,
That's right.
Brett, how can folks check your stuff out via the AP?
Sure, apnews.com on a laptop, or the AP News app, which is free for a smartphone. And that provides news from all over the world, including, Gaza and Ukraine, and not just sports, but you'll get your share of sports from around the country as well, including right here.
Yep. Always a pleasure, Brett. Thank you.
Yep. Take care, Corey. Great show.
That's Brett Martel at the New Orleans Arena, a.k.a. the Smoothie King Center, I should say. The old arena. Getting ready for the Pels tonight and Golden State. They tip off in a little over an hour. Another Martel Monday. Hey, New Orleans, see you tomorrow, Tuesday, 4 o'clock. Be there.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.